Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is the daily reading for Friday, the 23rd of October. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're well. Welcome back, or welcome. Right, Major Arcana reading. Let's see what we can see for Friday, 23rd of October. Something rather fruity about that. Don't know why. Never know why. It's just a feeling. Okay, we've got the world in reverse. Oh, sorry about the light. The Tower. Justice, again, featured really big yesterday. And the High Priestess in reverse. So, some shenanigans. High Priestess in reverse. Shenanigans or withheld... No, shenanigans. For me, the High Priestess in reverse is narcissism. It's the taking of all that is sacred in the human spirit and turning it on its head. And that only happens when there has been a choice to do that. Yeah, naturally, she's in the upright. Yeah, but when she's on her head, it's because she has been done to somewhere along the line. And what happens with narcissism is that the action that has turned what is good and natural and true on its head has often been long forgotten, but it's so fundamental that nothing natural, good and true can flow after that until it is recognised. And okay, we had the world in the reverse here. Lack of fulfillment, lack of satisfaction, okay, lack of the bottoming out, the cycling out of something, or blockage thereof. However, how interesting, because we have the Tower and Justice. So some sort of unexpected shake-up of an established power structure. That's what the Tower represents here. And it's really interesting. The two cards, the first and the fourth card that I pulled are in the reverse. The two in the middle, the Tower and Justice, are in the upright. So we have this these unhappy bookends to this. The world in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. Yeah, bookending this swift, shocking introduction of justice and rightness and rectitude and correctitude into the mix. How interesting. I'm not at all surprised to see these two, World in reverse and the High Priestess in the reverse, in conjunction with each other, bookending off something. I mean, this is never a happy thing, all right? The High Priestess in reverse, never a happy thing. But there's perhaps a kind of having got used to it. And again, with narcissism, if you've lived in any kind of setup with a narcissistic individual, it's probably run in the family, and there's a longevity to it. And that longevity can engender a sense of just normality around it. It's like, well, of course I lied. What else do you expect me to do? Fool. um, or yeah, it's it's the normalizing of toxicity, all right, and the longevity aspect of it. I'm getting is here in the world in the reverse. You know, the world card is not about something swift or fleeting. It's lasting. Okay, and in the middle, as I said, suddenly something comes to break up that tower of power. And it's a bolt from the blue, the lightning, electric. We are coming up to, we're getting closer and closer every day to this full moon in Taurus. I've put a one-off reading up about that. That's on the channel, so have a look at that. We're getting nearer and nearer to that, and there's a big electric shock involved in that because it's Uranus being earthed by Taurus in a situation of the expansion of Plutonic Scorpionic energies. There's a bit of a lot going on. But how wonderful to see justice in the upright here. How wonderful. A righting of wrongs. And it's, as I say, it's long term, but again, an amazing contradiction between the longevity of this and the shock of the new. It's always a shock, isn't it, the new? Well, I think it's more of a shock as you get older. Because you just got more time to get used to things being the way they are. New? What? I didn't order that. Okay. Right. Yeah, very glad to see justice in the upright. And this shock of the tower kind of ushers it in. And I'm seeing a crack opening. And in the space created is justice. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going to pull another one here on the High Priestess in the reverse because I don't like to end. I don't want to end the reading with that. I mean, the reading is not kind of chronological. It's not like, oh, it starts off like this, then it gets a bit like this, and then it gets, and the upshot is that. Well, if it is, I am not prepared to leave an upshot on the High Priestess in reverse. I'm just not prepared to do that. Okay. Right. The Lovers. Okay, paradigm shift. But it's a paradigm shift that appears to have an element of choice about it. Because here we've got a young man choosing between being his mother's son and his girlfriend's husband. He's standing in the middle, and it's like, you know, am I ready for this? Am I ready to move up a gear? Am I ready to shift paradigm? Am I ready to take the step away from boyhood into manhood, or away from an apprentice into a master, away from a hobby into a profession, away from an idea into a reality? It's that paradigm shift card. But the wonderful thing about it is that that little cherub up the top there is going to see to it that a step is taken, because you can't argue with whatever is coating the tip of that arrow. When it finds, and it's not partial. Look, he's blindfolded, that little cherub, that little Kama, that little Eros. He's the Vedic version of Eros is called Kama. So similar. All these mythologies are so similar. And yeah, he fires an arrow, and whoosh. When that arrow finds its mark, all bets are off. You know, this lad thinks that he's taking the choice, but he's not. It's the natural movement forward. Yeah, it's the same will that makes babies stand up and start to walk. You know, it's just that inexorable growth. And he's got to grow. You know, he's too big to be going home with his mum for his tea. Too old for that. It's just starting to look a bit silly, really. It's, you know, about time he stepped up. Stepping up. Stepping up. Right, let's get another one. Okay, we've got death in the reverse. I'm going to put that down with the world in the reverse. So what an interesting juxtaposition between stasis, world in reverse, death in reverse, and change, the tower, the lovers. I think there's a little bit of there's a kind of grinding here. There are two forces grinding against each other. I mean, we all know which one's going to win. Yeah, the step up is going to win. Justice is going to win. Okay, but there's this like grinding thing. And because the stasis of the narcissism, again, narcissism is not something that happens like that. Yeah, I mean, there's always a tipping point. But the narcissism of the high priestess in the reverse, where, as I said, all that is good, all that is true, all that is pure and beautiful about the human spirit is kind of perverted, turned on its head. This doesn't happen quickly. It happens over a period of time, and it can happen over generations and just play out and play out and play out. So we've got this stuckness and non-change juxtaposed with, as I said, the tower, the lovers. The key card in here for me, in this reading, is justice. This is like the true north of it all, the North Star, that upon which we can always rely. And I mean, the thing with justice is however we cut it, however we frame it, however we are gaslighted on it or do a bit of gaslighting on it, whichever way we view it, it's like you could say it like this and you could chop it like that and you can use these statistics and that chart and per this and per that and cut it any way you want. We all know when it rings true and when it doesn't. We all know that. And that, for me, is why this is kind of the steady seam through this reading. But I think there's going to be an opportunity to step up and step out of this paradigm of the world in reverse, death in the reverse, and the high priestess in the reverse. We have an opportunity to step forward into something new. And I mean, who wouldn't want to? It's only fear that would stop us stepping away from that kind of energy. And I think there's an opportunity here to embrace our fears, because, I mean, this shit happens sometimes. You know, it does. Excuse my language. It does. It does happen sometimes, and it is frightening. I would be frightened if I was there when this happened. But it's nature. It's a force of nature. It's lightning. It's not. It's no one's doing. So again, there's a force of nature here in the lightning. There's a force of nature here in the cherub, and underlining it all is justice. So it's the courage to look at a situation that might be kind of calcified and stinky, and say, okay, I know this is how it is, but it don't feel right. And when I look at it straight in the eye, I see it never did. That in itself can be quite a shock. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to. I always love to see comments. I really, really do. So thank you once again, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.